Welcome to Love Infidelity Story. My name is Eliza. I am 38 years old, and this is a story I never thought I would tell anyone, let alone share it for the world to hear. But sometimes, keeping things bottled up inside only makes the pain worse. Maybe, by sharing, someone else will feel a little less alone. Before all of this, I thought I had my life in some kind of balance. After my divorce, I married a kind man named Derek. He had a son from a previous relationship by Ethan, 16. I didn't have children of my own, and I thought this would be a chance for me to build a family I never had. I didn't expect motherhood to come easily, but I was willing. I was hopeful. At first, Ethan was polite, quiet, distant, the kind of teenager who had walls so high around him you'd get dizzy just looking up. I tried not to take it personally. He'd gone through a lot. His mother had walked away when he was 10. I could see the pain behind his silence, like a storm always hanging just behind his eyes. Still, I tried. I baked his favorite cookies after school, left small notes of encouragement in his backpack, watched the Marvel movies he liked, even though I barely understood what was happening in them. I didn't want to replace his mother, I just wanted him to know I cared. But no matter what I did, Ethan remained closed off. Then one Saturday morning, everything cracked open. It was around 10 a.m. Derek had gone out to meet an old friend for breakfast, and I was cleaning up the kitchen. I noticed Ethan's door was slightly ajar. He usually kept it shut like it was guarding a secret. Something about the open door made me pause. Maybe it was just instinct, or maybe it was that strange silence that hung in the air. I walked up the stairs quietly, unsure of what I was even looking for. I wasn't trying to pry, I just felt uneasy. When I reached the door, I looked in and froze. Ethan was sitting on the floor by his bed. He had his school tablet in his hands, but it wasn't schoolwork. His face was flushed, his body tense, and in a blur of horror and shock, I realized what he was doing. He hadn't seen me yet. I backed away quietly, heart pounding, face burning. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't angry, not really, just stunned, embarrassed, maybe even a little heartbroken. I'd spent so much time trying to reach this boy, trying to make him feel safe, and now I'd witnessed something that shattered the last barrier of privacy between us. I went back downstairs, sat on the couch, and stared at the blank TV screen. 1,000 thoughts ran through my mind. Should I talk to him? Should I tell Derek? Should I pretend it never happened? By the time Ethan came down for lunch, his face was a perfect mask. If he knew I'd seen anything, he didn't show it. But I noticed the way he avoided my eyes, the way he rushed through his food. The silence between us was louder than any argument we'd ever had. Later that night, I lay awake in bed next to Derek. I couldn't sleep. All I could think about was how lost Ethan looked, how vulnerable. He wasn't just a boy caught in a private moment. He was a kid searching for something, a comfort, escape, connection. The next day, I did something I didn't plan. I waited until Derek had left for work, then I knocked on Ethan's door. He didn't answer, but I opened it anyway. He was at his desk, headphones on. When he saw me, he looked startled, then ashamed. "Can we talk?" I asked gently. He shrugged. "I guess." I sat on the edge of his bed. "Ethan, I'm not here to embarrass you. I saw you yesterday. I didn't mean to. I didn't know your door was open." His face turned crimson. "Oh my God, just go, please." I didn't move. "Look, I'm not going to lecture you. I just want you to know, a broken bar, you're not in trouble. You're not gross. You're human." He stared at me, wide-eyed. Maybe it was the last thing he expected to hear. "I know it's weird, and I know we don't talk much," I continued, "but I need you to understand something. I've been trying to be here for you. Maybe I haven't done a good job. Maybe I've just made things more awkward, but I care about you. And if you ever want to talk about anything, you can." There was a long silence. I thought he was going to tell me to leave again, but instead, he whispered, "It's not just that. It's not just what you saw." My chest tightened. "What do you mean?" He looked down, his voice barely audible. "I hate myself, all the time. I feel a broken bar, messed up, like I'm never going to be normal." Tears welled up in his eyes and mine. My heart cracked open. He wasn't just ashamed of being caught, he was drowning in something deeper. I moved closer. "Ethan, you're not messed up. You're not broken. You're figuring things out, like everyone else. And yeah, it's confusing, and awkward, and sometimes scary, but it doesn't mean you're bad." His shoulders shook as he tried to hold back his sobs. I reached out and, slowly, he leaned into me like a fragile bird finally letting itself rest. We sat there for what felt like hours. He told me things he'd never told anyone, about how he'd been bullied, about feeling abandoned by his mom, about how he didn't know where he belonged, or who he was supposed to be. That day, something shifted between us. Not everything was magically fixed, but something real had begun. Ethan started opening up more after that. He still had his rough days, but now he let me in. We talked about school, about music, about his fears. Sometimes, we didn't talk at all, we just watched dumb movies together and laughed. I realized that what I caught wasn't something shameful, it was a moment of human vulnerability, a snapshot of someone trying to navigate pain in the only way he knew how. Looking back now, I think that moment was a gift, not because of what happened, but because of what it uncovered. Today, Ethan is 19, he's in college now. We talk every week. He even calls me mom sometimes when he forgets, and every time I hear that word, I feel this ache of gratitude, because being a mother isn't just about biology as sometimes. It's about showing up when it's hard, when it's uncomfortable, when it's painful. Sometimes, the door that's left slightly open is the one that finally lets the light in. Thank you for listening.